What's up, chat? Yes, I forgot to plug in my mic. It's a good thing because I started the stream just by saying 100 different racial slurs, so... Good thing I had my mic unplugged when I was talking about that specific ethnic group and all the things that they've done wrong and how it's poorly affected the world. List the slurs just to be safe. Is chud a slurs, guy? If I call you guys chuggers, which is my more racially offensive term of chud, would I get in trouble? I got a 7-day ban for saying white woman fuck dogs on this channel last year. Was that Twitch just going into your message logs on its own and just like finding you and banning you? Is that how this shit works? Don't say any version of the N-word in this chat, because I think that's like the easiest way to get in trouble. There is a wide variety of opinions on which variation of the N-word is acceptable and whether you are allowed to say it without a hard R or not, but just don't say it. It's important to remember that Amazon isn't making any money on Twitch. So, they have nothing to lose to destroy you. You're not a customer, your data is a customer. Wouldn't my data be the product and China be the customer? I don't know why China would be the customer. China doesn't care about your data. It's all your corporate overlords that care about your data so they can market shit to you. China has bigger problems than your social security number right now. Oh, oh. Ugh. No. What's up, chat? How is everyone doing today? I'm playing Dragon Quest XI right now, post-game. I don't think Dragon Quest Endgame is fun. Are you good, bro? I'm not good for multiple reasons. But number one reason is because the height of the bed that I'm lying on and its positioning to the wall is incorrect. And I need to move shit around to allow for optimal positioning. I have to move to a different room in this apartment. It's kind of difficult because this apartment is full of my late aunt's shit. So any kind of actual change, I have to like move a bunch of shit from one place to another. I kind of wish I was just going into an empty apartment, but then that would have its own problems as well. But yeah, it hurts my lower back right now in the posture that I'm in. And I didn't suffer any back problems in my previous, like, drawing with my head on the wall, sitting on a mattress posture in the past, but the current setup is not the same height and the same distance from the wall, so I need to fuck around with that. I started drawing again after many years, still bad. It turns out that you only get good at something by doing the thing. Who would have thought? Shocking, really. Posture is so fickle. Also, I need to have my... I would like to get my elbow nice and sort of attached to the mattress that I'm sitting on so that I can use it as like a supporting thing that I can move my wrist and elbow from as well. Anyways, people, when I tell people that I'm like slumped on the bed when I draw, people are like, doesn't that fuck up your back? Well, it didn't fuck up my back at all when I was in my previous posture in my previous house in America, so I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I was sitting like that for years and years and years, so if it was fucking up my back, I think I would have noticed at some point. But the current posture is definitely fucking up my back, so I need to move shit around. Real artists don't pick up a pencil for 12 months. More like real artists take a lot of advance payment for their commissions and then claim they're suffering a mental health breakdown and then take the money and then disappear. Hashtag every single artist on fucking online ever. I'm also watching Magical Doremi. It's pretty good. Known for its big titty fairies. Not the children, but the big one. The fairies have big boobs. There's like one adult fairy. There's a bunch of children's fairies for the children's cartoon. Do you have any more Monster Girl comics in the pipeline? No. The only thing in the pipeline is the endless pain and suffering of my existence. You normies wouldn't understand, but when you're an artist like me, you're very sensitive, so everything is about your pain and suffering. I'm doing game dev art right now. That's more of pain and suffering, not because you're a sensitive artist and you have mental health issues and you cut off your ear to show a girl how much you love her, but more like pain and suffering because the idea guy manager is like, look, I generated this image in AI. This is what the main character and the environmental art should look like. I need you to make something exactly like these 500 AI slop images I just generated. Also, we're running out of money if we don't get a new wave of venture capital funding within the next 2 weeks. So, yeah, I might not be able to pay anyone. That sounds more like game development art. Having an irritable stomach isn't exactly the sensibility most people appreciate. The normies can never appreciate the explosive diarrhea I suffer from when I eat any kind of food. He also likes your art. We have... Doesn't Deathstriker work in the actual, like, AAA horror of existence games industry? She's not here for this conversation, but I think she's personally talked about what can happen if you give the manager ideas guy access to ChatGPT to generate images or something. This is a good time to talk about High Guard, guys. Because I'm not going to accuse High Guard of using AI for their character designs, but they may as well be, because it's just like, how do you explain the incredible blandness of everyone calling it a Concord-like, but Concord-like isn't exactly accurate because Concord character designs were so bad. You had like YouTube channels getting tons of views by being like, I'm a professional concept artist and let me explain step by step every single mistake that every single Concord character design performs. Whereas High Guard character designs aren't like so bad that even someone who has no experience in art can tell immediately that something is wrong with them, but they're also immediately forgettable. High Guard, more like generic guard, am I right, fellas? So that's what makes me feel like there's something AI-esque about it. High Guard characters, because the way modern diffusion models work is they take all the data they have from all the other stuff on the internet and they just average it out. So what you usually get is like stuff that it feels like you've vaguely seen it before, but you're not really sure why, and you're not really sure what they're going for. Like everything in this image, it feels like I've seen it before, but like it's like if you took all the soft drinks at your local soft drink McDonald's and just poured them all into the same cup, but then instead of just like drinking all of the soft drinks together, you like then added an extra gallon of water so they're all diluted. Tactical shock spear, passive supercharged axe, ultimate power storm. Like he doesn't even have like a consistent weapon. Maybe having a spear and an axe is totally fine, but it's like for every single opportunity they have to make each of the characters have like a specific flavor, they kind of fail. Not kind of fail, they definitely fail. Condor is a recon warden who excels at tracking enemies. Like this, she has like this weird poncho. Redmane. Kai. Scarlet. Mara. Una. Who is your favorite warden, guys? My favorite warden is Slade, an assault warden who uses fire to deal damage to enemies. And they only have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have fucking 8 characters in a 3-on-3. That's a hero shooter mixed with arcane. It's not Concord bad, it's just meh. Concord, people want more Concords because some of the normies missed their opportunity to shit on Concord until after the fact. Whereas people like us who are tuned into video gaming news got all our Concord, making fun of Concord, out, and we don't have to do it anymore. But people hoping for another Concord, you're not going to get it. Not only is Concord one of the most disastrous video game developments of all time, it's actually probably one of the most disastrous media entertainment fiasco. Just like in all entertainment, adding like, you know, movies, productions and stuff as well. I don't think, very few things have had the budget that Concord has had and has made as little money as Concord. If we're talking about like percentage wise, like hard numbers, if you compare the amount of money they spent in development and the many, many years of development versus the amount of money that they got back, and like just made it calculated as a percentage. I'm not sure if there's ever been a bigger bomb in any kind of media ever. We've been getting Concord like shit decades already. Yes. This is the funny part. The normies have finally figured it out. It literally took them like 10 years to figure it out that we've been getting Concord shit for 10 years. Anthem and Marathon come to mind. We also had Hyenas, which was so bad it got canceled in the pipeline. And then Sony also has Fair Games, which has not come out yet and may never come out. We literally got 10 years of game development wasted. Because the people funding them were like, look at this Fortnite thing. I would also like Fortnite. Make me Fortnite. Make me a games as a service that appeals to the teenagers and is politically correct so we can get extra money from BlackRock investors. See what I'm doing here, guys? This is why I have not played Baldur's Gate. See that? Now let me draw an anime head. This is how you draw the anime shape. Notice the proportions. Look how much extra you have. Chart is not that bad. You just hate realism, BB. Alright. Let me show you with an actual fucking photo. Here, let's try Audrey Hepburn, often considered to be the most attractive female in Hollywood. Of all time. Look what happens. Here's the top of the head. Actually, I shouldn't even use the top of the head. I should use the hair, because that's really what we're talking about. See? Look at that shit. Look. Do you understand what I'm saying, guys? Do you understand? Do you see it? Do you see? Do you see? Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see?
Your reporter. Your job is to report, that's why you're here. And if you don't open your eyes, I'll staple your eyelids to your forehead. Well, here I am. Look, when I go to visit them, do you see? Yes. Mrs. Leeds later, her husband beside her. Yes. This is Jacoby. After changing, the dragon rampant. Freddie Lowndes. Your photograph.
No,
No.
no, not me, please. Please.
Do you see, chat?
Yes.
Do you see? Because you clearly don't, Metroplex. You do not see. You do not see what I'm talking about. You're being too technically critical, unrealistic, yeah, we see. No, you do not see. Look at the length of the proportions of the head. Do you not understand? The distance from the eyes to the top of the head must be longer than the distance from the eyes to the jaw when we are talking about attractive females. And that is me allowing for extra, or not accounting for the hair amount. In general, when we are talking about the skull shape, it is considered to be half and half. This is the general idea, is when you draw the skull, it is almost exactly 1-to-1. 1-to-1. However, characters have hair. They often have very fluffy hair. So when you add all of this extra fucking hair onto it, we are very used to seeing characters, this being almost as much as 1.5-to-1. Okay? And then when you take it and you draw it in anime style, you are told to exaggerate these features to get a more childish looking appearance when you make the eyes larger. And this becomes as much as like 1.5-to-1 even without the hair, and then you add all this extra hair. Okay? So if we're being realistic, it should at least be 1-to-1. What do we have here? Do you see? Do you see now? See? She has a longer distance from here to here than from here to here. Okay? Do you not understand? Do you see, chat? Do you see? This is the most absolute basic shit right here. These proportions of the head when you are trying to draw not just humans, but attractive female characters, okay? Metroplex just DM'd me saying he was sincere, not rage baiting. Yes, that's what makes it worse. I'm rage baiting, BB. I do see it. No, you do not see it. The world needs to see it. The world needs to see that Baldur's Gate has shitty character modeling. Even if we're not talking about a frog character whose distance from her nose to her mouth is specifically longer than it should be, just because Western character design wants to make women unattractive for some reason. And this wannabe goth little bitch is supposed to be the most attractive of the females, or at least if you are a normie or something. And we haven't even talked about these lines right here. Right here. that aren't that prominent in this image, but they sure as fuck are prominent in all the other images. Leave my frog wife alone. Frog wife is legitimately supposed to be ugly on purpose, or if you like her like it is, then that's fine. I'm sure she's beautiful on the inside, am I right? Now don't even get me started about this bitch right here. You fucking kidding me? I'm supposed to waifu this shit? I'm a man who likes drow women more than any other anything in the entire fucking planet, and I would have to gouge my eyes out and go permanently blind if I was gonna convince myself that this was breeding material. Are you fucking kidding me? That's a man. That's a man. This is a fucking man. And when people talk about anything about Baldur's Gate, they're always like, which girl is the best girl? None of them. They all look... You fucking kidding me? You're gay if you like this shit. This is a man. How can people's eyes be so blind to these obvious indicators of the male jawbone structure? Bitch, if I was going to draw Minthara accurately, you know what she'd look like? It's like fucking this. This is your evil drow elf, impossibly beautiful female that you're supposed to be getting pregnant right here. This is what she fucking looks like. We're back in Oblivion, guys. We haven't gotten any step forward from when the Japanese were memeing on Western games, when Bethesda character creator was creating atrocities like the Oblivion superfan. Except the thing about Oblivion characters is nobody was trying to waifu and romance them. I can't fucking believe this shit. Oh my god. Everyone in Oblivion, everyone rounder though? That's not true. Oblivion, you can make any shape character you could want. Oblivion character be like this. If you mess with all the sliders. And make sure they're the proper color. This is Oblivion right there. The Oblivion comment is a bit much. It's in the same zone. If you can't draw attractive females and you're into character design and you're producing content for men, then just get the fuck out of the industry. I'm tired of this shit. But you know what the truth is? It doesn't matter because these games were never meant for men in the first place. Yeah, we all know what Baldur's Gate is actually meant for. It's meant for romantasy consumers, i.e. white females. And all of you guys who are willing to partake in this shit are dumbasses because the game isn't made for you. It never was. Asterion, my beloved. See, here we have the romantasy consumer in her natural habitat, lusting after the gay bisexual vampire boyfriend who tries to suck your blood within the first 3 minutes of the game, as he whinily makes British comments about stuff. Baldur's Gate 3 wasn't for men. If it was, it wouldn't use 5th edition. That's right. Real men use the real tabletop system, where we just throw a rock on the ground, and if it is heads, you win, and if it's tails, you lose. That's the amount of complexity our brains can handle. Grug not play 5th edition. Grug smash rock into other rock. Actually, it's basically the opposite, right? Men are like, excuse me, sir, I do think that D&D 3.5 is the best version of anything that we've ever created because I enjoy adding and subtracting numbers 10 million times in every single combat. I have never played 3.5, but I have played Pathfinder, which is supposed to be based on 3.5. And everybody who's like, no, Pathfinder is a superior addition to 5th edition. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Before every single fucking encounter, I spend 2 minutes casting buff spells on every single one of my characters. So the AC is like 40, and my roll to hit is like 55, because you take the D20 and you add like an extra 20 points for all the buffs, and then the enemy I'm trying to hit also has an AC rating of like 40. You really think this is a good system? It's not. 5th edition is fine as a system. It just attracted too many normies. Ball is getting mad at 42 things today. Sometimes men must yell at all the insufferable injustices of the universe. Because if I'm not here to talk about what is wrong, these normies won't even know. Even when it's staring them directly in the face. As artists, it's our duty to go out and rage against the storm, for the record. Because if there isn't someone out there saying that Baldur's Gate 3 characters are ugly, a million years from now, aliens might come down to the planet and be like, oh, I see, this was a popular video game at the time. This must have been what people thought was attractive. And I will say, no, it is not attractive. What happened today to get you into rage mode? Someone asked me to draw Shart, also known as Shadowheart. And just the act of looking at these fucking images on my TV screen was enough to put me into just endless anger. I saw the stream of a doujin creator. He was drawing for 9 hours straight with almost the speed of a time-lapse. Thoughts? I guess the question is, how many doujins does he sell? Which doujin creator is it that we're talking about? Pastime 774. Oh, that guy. Meh. I've actually seen the same streams you're talking about, and you're greatly exaggerating the speed at which he was drawing. I have also been recommended his stream videos by the YouTube algorithm, and you are exaggerating the speed at which he's drawing. He wasn't drawing that fast. I don't think you understand how quickly professional manga artists can shit out pages when they have like 3 or 4 assistants. We're talking about a page per hour is what we're talking about when they hit maximum speed. Also, he's not a doujin author. He's drawing for a magazine right now. So, as usual, this chat does not know what it's talking about. Guys, leave the art to me. You guys don't know what you're talking about, bros. He's made doujins. That's how it works. You make a few doujins, and then the publishing company gains access to a good script, and they're like, we need someone to draw the official manga of this, and then you get paid by the publishing company, and often you make less money than if you were just making doujins, unfortunately. The episode of Mamben showed Takao Saito and his assistants finishing around 40 pages in 5 days. Yeah. People might think that's abnormal, but it's not as abnormal. Especially for Takao Saito, because he was one of the originals who was like, I'm just the director, and I'm going to use as many assistants as I want, and I'm just going to make a studio, and in fact, I'm going to train my assistants so that even after I'm dead, they will just be able to keep on continuing Go forever. That's the good thing of having Go forever, is that the Cold War will never end. We will forever be waiting for whatever guy to get shot because of Soviet this or NATO that. None of that. My assistant's whining just 10 hours of painful hatching. Bro, if you're a Edo mangaka, you don't get to have assistants. That's not because he doesn't need assistants or he doesn't want assistants. They don't get paid enough to have assistants, dude. Being a publisher paid erotic mangaka is like one of the most thankless jobs in the industry for some reason. This is why there's so much more of a doujin scene than like an official publisher scene. And why a lot of authors that are just essentially drawing porn that you wish would be drawing actual porn won't actually draw porn because it doesn't make enough money. Thank you for your service, Buchayu. Buchayu makes lots of money from his doujins, but he also works for eroge companies as well, so he does both. That's old core memory name right there. Why is this chat so annoying today? Well, there's nothing old core about Buchayu. He's literally publishing new doujins this Komiket. It's like here. The dark elf shirt, it must be like right on the precipice of where you can see the nipples but not see it. It all went downhill. Actually, it's been downhill since yesterday because I walked to the train station and bought a water filter and it's not filtering water properly. I should have bought Brita brand, but I bought a Mitsubishi brand water filter and it makes the water taste slightly less like whatever chemicals they have to put in, the fluoride or whatever, chlorine, whatever they put into the water to make it not kill you. But I can still taste it. And so I'm wondering whether I need to go back. Like, you can't take a fucking water filter back to the store, right? I fucking opened it. So it's like a huge headache. Do I keep on using this? It's not awful, but it's bad enough to make me be like, am I gonna keep on doing this? What am I gonna do? Am I gonna buy a new water filter? Am I gonna go back to the store and be like, this shit don't work? Actually, it does work, but it doesn't work well enough. Give me a refund? That seems out of the question. It's only like 3,000 yen. What if I buy a Brita water filter and it doesn't work well enough? Then I'll have 2 useless water filters. Am I gonna keep on buying bottled water? What if this is all in my fucking brain? It's not having it busted, it's that you gotta think about a refund working or not. If it was truly busted, I would go and like ask for a refund because it was actually busted. The problem is that it's not actually busted. It's just, it's working at like 80% good enough, but I can still taste the extra 20% in the water where it's not working. And now I have a problem on my hands that I have to solve that I wasn't planning on solving. I thought I solved the problem. Things where you think that you've solved the issue and then it turns out you haven't solved the issue, and now you have to like even worry about like disposing the thing that you thought solved the issue for you. That shit is the worst. It's not just like an extra problem, it's like a whole extra like saga. And obviously water is like an ongoing issue that is going to bug me every single fucking day, so I'm going to have to figure something about this out. I had been drinking bottled water up until this point. I have some of the cheapest water filter they had in the store and it works perfectly. This one was the cheapest water filter in the store. But maybe you're just not as sensitive as me. That's part of the problem, is that I legitimately don't know if I like buy a different water filter, whether it's gonna work or not. Like, what if my palate is just too fucking sensitive to this shit and I have to buy, like, an expensive water filter? I can't do this, like, 3 more times, right? If you could find one you could test, that would make it easier. Yes, this is the difficult part. Is that I need to, like, fucking test this shit out. But that's not an option. Like, this is the type of stuff where they need to offer testing in the store or something like that. If you're used to the taste of bottled water, no amount of filtering will help you, to be honest. Back in America, we were using Brita water filters and it was enough to get the taste out of it. So I'm wondering if I just need to buy Brita. But again, I'm worried that it's just gonna fuck it up again. The worst is if I buy a second water filter and that also leaves taste. And now I have 2 useless water filters. I don't know, man. The bottled water approach, I know that works. I've been buying the cheapest brand bottled water from the local Daiei supermarket store, and I don't have any taste issues regarding that, so... My mother invested a very expensive, large-scale filtering system in our house. So I had been drinking that for quite a while before I came to Japan, and then I was drinking bottled water. For the last 2 or 3 weeks, so... It is possible I have legit just gotten too used to the taste of highly filtered water. You mean those osmosis filters? Yeah, I think so. Does Japan add fluoride to the water? I don't fucking know, but it doesn't taste good. I think it depends based on the location. Are you gonna draw Shadow Heart in the Record of Lotus War art style or nah? No, I'm gonna draw Shadow Heart Soy pointing at Pyrotes and saying that that's not a dark elf, that's a racist term. And then her saying that I'm a dark elf because my heart is full of darkness. Because Shadowheart is a dumbass. That's what I want to say. Shadowheart, the girl that claimed that she was a goth after watching Twilight. Who smoked clove cigarettes for like 2 weeks and then decided to stop. How does BaalBud feel about the realistic looking chicks in DMC5? If I had a time machine, instead of going back and killing Hitler, I would go back and stop Capcom from developing the RE engine. Every single video game that isn't Resident Evil has suffered greatly from the RE engine, and it needs to fucking stop. It needs to stop now. I can't believe they're using RE engine to make the new Mega Man. I've said before that I wish there were more video game companies that had their own proprietary engines, because when everybody uses Unreal Engine it all looks the same. But now I'm changing my mind on it. If developing your own engine means that you're going to be pressured by the studio to use that same fucking engine for every single video game, then I don't want companies to develop their own engines. The funniest thing is that in most cases when they develop their own engine, instead of it being used for every video game, it's used for like one video game, and then they realize that it's just easier to license Unreal, and then they stop. If it's truly cursed, then they just straight up can't use the engine at all, and they give up halfway through, like the slip space engine that they were trying to use for Halo 5, or not Halo 5, Halo Infinite. That's funny as fuck. Leon suffered twink death to be only reborn as wolf-type sauce Ikemen for the next installment. Yes. Capcom not try to sexualize Leon for 5 seconds. Challenge difficulty impossible. Damn, Luminous Engine delayed Final Fantasy 15 forever. Yeah. Luminous Engine probably being... The thing is, all of these engines are really cool when they're working. It's crazy how, like, they create these in-house engines and it ends up being, like, nobody can actually use it in-house. And it ends up with the game being delayed by, like, 6 years or something. Like, perhaps that wasn't as good an idea. I'm sure they try and push these through corporate, the budgeting office being like, no, no. Once we get this up and running, it will save us a lot of money because we won't have to license these other companies' engines. And the budgets are like, okay, you have to promise us that every video game that you make for the next 20 years, you're going to use this engine. And they're like, of course. We'll be able to use this engine for everything. It will be so versatile. And then they make it and nobody fucking knows how to use it. And it's not versatile at all. And it also cost them like $1 billion of development time to make it. They need to stop using Unreal Engine 5. Has anything gotten better since Unreal Engine 4? I don't want to be like video games are now complete now that we have Unreal Engine 4, but it kind of feels like that, doesn't it? I played Heroes of Avernum because it was in PS Plus, but Heroes of Avernum is like maximum DEI slopcore video game that was only in the news because it was like one of the first games to actually use Unreal Engine 5, and as a result of using Unreal Engine 5, they overdo particle effects at every single point, and it just looks like a huge mess of shiny slop. Just colors exploding on your screen every 5 seconds, except not in a good way. If your game can't even run on the latest GPU, it is fucked? Yes. I think you're right about that one. More slop than Dragon Age Inquisition. If you told me that Heroes of Avernum, or whatever it's called, was made using AI, I would believe you. That's the funny thing, is like, people are like, we should never have AI in video games, and it's like, bro. No, I'm not even getting the title wrong. What is it called? Avernum? Immortals of Avium. Even the title sounds like it was made using AI. Look at this shit, bro.
Ready now. Go to the next altar. Of all the colors, green magic is the most curious. It's the province of spirits, of death, life, and transition.
Yow! Ugh. Guessing this spell emphasizes the death part.
There is a war to win.
just spectral, sir. When do I see a real fight?
In time. There's more to learn than just spellcasting.
Like what?
In
Look
your
at this
case,
Unreal Engine 5
self-control.
graphics that looks like nothing. And what do they use to use all their new engine? Yes.
Why the frown, soldier?
Why the frown? I wonder why.
You've done well today.
I guess Look, sir, I don't want to do this part.
Look at the
just
character
soldier
design.
thing.
Just like
Don't get me
random
wrong.
white
I'll
boy
fight.
with weird tattoos on his face.
Promised a friend I would. Promised my family.
Did you?
I played this game for a solid 2 hours, I think. Yeah, it's at 50-minute mark.
I want to fight this war as one of you. One of the elite.
It doesn't work that way.
And as when you get to
Just let me get my bearings.
You want to make selections?
You have
today? You better find
big
them
thick
fast.
black girl boss on your comms at all times. When I played this, I was just like, truly this is the peak of the DEI slop era. But now that I think about it, the DEI slop era was going on for so long that it's impossible to even say when it began and when it ended and what's the peak. It's like questioning, like, what is the peak of World War One? It's like, well, or what is the peak of the 100 Years' War or something?
What are they doing out here?
Alright, that's enough. I think you all get the point. When you ponder your orb, but only DEI Black Lady comes through. She's not just the DEI Black Lady, she's your commanding officer. And you have to listen to her girl boss commands. Damn, I still get like, I have like this weird taste in my mouth, and I think it's because I was drinking the filtered tap water yesterday. How bad is this shit? What the fuck? Take us back to Marvel's Storm Girl Boss? You mean Marvel's Storm in the 90s Capcom video game X-Men Children of the Atom? Who looked extremely attractive and fuckable? No. You will not get attractive black female. That would be insulting. Women aren't just sex objects, you know, chat. You should be ashamed for wanting them to look attractive. Funny you say that, but they made Storm a leader of X-Men Squad. I mean, I'd rather have Storm as my leader than, like, fucking Scott. Was Storm in, like, any significant relationships during the X-Men run in which she was constantly having, like, who's fucking who drama? Because I can't remember. I don't think she was, right? Because if you're an X-Men leader and you're not, you know, breaking down because your girlfriend dumped you every 5 seconds, that alone makes you more capable than, like, Scott or Jean, LMAO, yes. Storm was put into a political marriage with Black Panther. At least they're not diluting the blackness of their skin, I guess. Storm had relationships with a few, one of which was Wolverine and Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom is never in any relationships with anyone except himself and his country. But mostly himself. I'm wondering whether I should give her the actual accurate 90s low-dose pointy-ass chin like this. Whether I should go full 90s on the chin or not. I usually like making it a little bit more rounder than that, but... Hose are temporary, lathering is eternal. Latveria. Lathering also eternal until it starts to dry out. Just gotta keep on lathering that shit up. Scott is a shitty leader. Guys, what is Scott good at? Honest question. His power is something that can be easily replaceable by any other of any number of mutants that can shoot beams. He's really not much better than, like, you know, Cable with whatever laser he has. Everybody can shoot pink lasers, so what makes Scott special? The answer is nothing. Nothing makes him special. He shoots ropes into Phoenix. I don't know, LOL. He's kind of like Travis Kelce in that his greatest accomplishment is the woman that he got to have sex with. Apologies to Travis Kelce, Super Bowl champion and one of the great tight ends of all time, but 90% of the people on this planet will just remember you as Taylor's boy toy, so, you know, same thing as Scott. Scott is a DEI hire. He's like just there for the straight white male slot. He's not there for his actual, you know, abilities. It's like, we need a straight white male to lead this group, guys. No, that one's a monkey, and that one has wings and stuff. Those are too weird. Not the black one either. Iceman was straight, then they turned him into a DEI? Yeah. On the other hand, it wouldn't be high school drama if you didn't have, like, at least one gay boy, so it's understandable. The whole point of X-Men is so people can be like, nobody likes me because I'm too special and cool, boo-hoo-hoo. Which is an extremely high school thing to be doing, so... Of course, everything has to be built around that. Are we having another discussion in chat where people compare 90s OVAs with insane quality to modern anime and being like, why can't we have anime like before? When you basically got one episode every 5 months in the OVAs. Gambit was supposed to be a skirt chaser, then he got turned into a fedora dweeb, and now he's that. This is the lifestyle of anybody who follows American comics, is that if you live long enough, they have to keep on changing it. Because I guess they can't create anything new. All they do is like, let's recycle the same property a million times. And then you're like, what the fuck are they doing to my favorite character? Turn it back. And they're like, fine, I'll turn it back. I mean, don't get me started on Spider-Man, right? I don't know shit about what's actually going on with Peter Parker, but they've basically done literally every single thing they can do with Peter Parker's character at this point, right? They've made him into a literal spider. They've made him to Dr. Octopus. They've made him cause cancer and Mary Jane with his radioactive sperm. They've made him a black version that's not Peter Parker. They've said that literally every version of Spider-Man exists in every possible universe. And just Peter Parker is just one of them. And so on and so on. Peter got DEI replaced. Except he isn't replaced because they have to keep on bringing him back. It's not even just like a American comic thing. American comics suffer from this issue partially because they have like different writers for every single thing, and you know, it's just owned by the corporation. But anything that goes on long enough, for the story to move forward, the character needs to keep on changing. So if you have a story that goes on forever, you essentially end up with a character that has gone through like every iteration of humanity. Like Hajime no Ippo is currently at like volume 150 or something like that. I'm not even exaggerating, really. I think it's really like at 140, some shit like that. Hajime no Ippo is an ongoing boxing manga with over 144 tankobon volumes. 144, guys. About a fucking boxer. Hajime no Ippo story arcs. Plot. I thought Ippo was over. No, it's not. The only things that can go on forever are things where the main character isn't actually the main character. That's stuff like Golgo. Golgo is, it seems like it's about Golgo, but it's actually about like international politics, and like each story is like its own, what do you call it, bottle episode. It basically just needs something that you can solve by shooting somebody. And if you're an American, you know that any problem can be solved by shooting someone, so it's just like, excuse me, sir, my name is Hans Gruber. I am an ex-Nazi commander, and I need someone to shoot me in the head from 500 miles away. I cannot explain. This is just very something important that needs to happen. And Golgo's response is just like, Average Golgo responds to everything. Which is why it's at like 5,000 chapters now or something. Does Golgo ever show another emotion? Golgo's emotion is mild annoyance and while he gives women mind-blowing orgasms. It worked for Cheney. The quail was just a decoy. Yes, Cheney is like, I need you to shoot him from 500 yards. It's the only way to end the Cold War. I'd be mildly annoyed while giving women mind-blowing orgasms. Golgo's mood while he's giving women mind-blowing orgasms is ... So... Hashtag just Golgo things. Be quiet, woman, I can't come with all this racket. Golgo experience with women is like, woman shows up, she's like, I must kill him. He easily defeats her, and she's like, oh my god, Golgo 13, you are the most masculine, powerful man on this planet. I can't contain my female needs anymore. Please fuck me raw right now. And Golgo is like ... But then he has sex with her. I guess that's just like mild annoyance because all the women are trying to have sex with him. He's a very dutiful man, though. He understands that as being the most desirable, cool, disciplined man on the planet, he has to have sex with the women. He does it as a courtesy. I don't think Agent 47 actually has sex with anybody, right? He just throws briefcases from across the map and kills people. Limited edition dickings. See, the classic seinen manga main characters, they didn't give away their dickings that often. You had to earn them. Just kidding. There's a famous ongoing Japanese manga. It's called Shima Kosaku. I don't know if you guys know it, but it's like businessman, salaryman fantasy. And basically every episode is him being like, here's this corporate problem we need to solve. Also, this corporate problem involves a woman. And like every time he just solves it by sticking his penis in her. And he's like, well, I gave her the dicking. I'm glad that solved that issue. Next. Every single fucking time. It's like, thank God my penis solved that problem. If they ever asked me to, like, accomplish things based on my business acumen, I'd be in deep trouble. But luckily, that issue was being caused by a female who needed the penis. I know how to deal with that thing. Anything else could be a problem, but the penis problems, I can deal with them. Another day at the factory fucking other men's wives. Yes. I mean, someone's got to do it. It's a thankless job, but someone has to fuck the office lady who is feeling unsatisfied. Their husbands appreciate it. They're very tired from work. Truly a case of using your head to problem solve. I don't know if he ever gives cunnilingus. Females in chat, is cunnilingus as good as it is supposed to be? I heard that women can easily get urinary tract infections from cunnilingus, so you probably shouldn't do it. Sex workers were talking about this on Twitter at some point. They're like, yeah, don't do it. The vagina was not meant for your saliva. Your saliva is full of bacteria. And I was like, huh. I didn't know about that. 80% of men don't know what they are doing. 80% of men are not Golgo 13, clearly. Also, I don't think Golgo 13 performs cunnilingus either. Golgo 13 doesn't do anything that will leave him in a possible situation in which he's open to attack. So he only stands like with his back against a wall and stuff like that. And he never takes his eyes off of his client, so I don't think he performs cunnilingus either. Too much of his vision would be obstructed by the clitoris, so... I have a mouth like a Komodo dragon, so I'm not allowed. Most men treat women's crotches like fucking popsicles. What if I just tied the female up and then duct tape one of those magic wand massage wands to her crotch and then left her like that for like an hour? It works in my shibari porn. That seems like a good way to save time, is being like, you like that S&M bondage, bitch? Okay, now I'm gonna leave you here for the next hour while I prepare the salad. Salads take a lot of time to prepare because you have to cut all those vegetables. It's no joke. She'd probably enjoy it more than the cunnilingus attempt. That's the dark secret of sex, isn't it? Is that we've developed all these sex toys that are probably better than the average man's attempts at finding the clitoris. I remember reading in the reviews of like the Sybian to not buy a Sybian because your wife will like the Sybian more than you. I was like, seems legit. It's up there with other advice like, don't give her a dildo that's larger than your penis because she might start expecting, you know, the larger sizes that you can't provide for her. Give her a dildo that fits her bow and arrow. I can't imagine that dildos would fly properly with a bow mechanism. They seem too floppy. Not my fault I can't find it when they keep hiding it. Yeah, true. It really is women's own fault. I remember reading about some sort of like biology short paper, not a paper, but like, I forgot where I read it, but it was talking about the absurdity, how weird it was for human females to have like sexual organs that weren't actually like linked to their ability to get pregnant and were just like primarily there for pleasure. And I was like, huh. I have never thought about it from that context. I can't help that men don't have H.R. Geiger looking dicks or tentacles. Hence all the jokes about women and their pet dolphins. When she's like, haha, just kidding, honey. I don't necessarily need a 18-inch long prehensile tentacle penis attached to an aquatic rapist mammal to get sexual pleasure. I was just joking. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go to the marina again. We mentioned Geiger a lot here. Always on our mind, H.R. Geiger. Pirota's hair is kind of difficult to draw. I don't really understand what's going on here. I think it's kind of fucked up. Some women actually prefer dildos over their husbands. Depending on the type of wife you have, you would probably prefer the fleshlight over your wife in some cases as well. It's only natural. Men are warm and sometimes very heavy. Women who like men like heavy, warm objects on top of them. But if you are a reptile, like most autists in this chat, you're like, no! I guess reptiles would like the human body heat. But yeah, I think part of the reason why I haven't had sex is because I have like very high body heat, so I'm constantly uncomfortable and like my body feels like it's too hot kind of direction. So just the thought of even being within like 2 or 3 feet of another human being during the summer is enough to just make me be like, no, I'm out. So that automatically excludes like 60% of the year. perhaps more considering the summers are getting hotter and longer with global warming. A reptilian female would like you for natural heat. True. In fact, most animals want your body heat, even if they're warm-blooded, i.e. cats and stuff. Imagine if BB got to have sex and just got soft due to being hot. Human beings get erections when they feel relaxed and comfortable. So if your body is in like a fight or flight, non-relaxed, uncomfortable mode, that legitimately is a problem. If you want to have sex, it can prevent you from getting an erection, which is a problem if you are autistic and just like naturally feel uncomfortable around other human beings. I can't truly be relaxed unless I'm alone. I can't even fathom being with a fat person. The sumo wrestlers, for example, are very popular in Japan. There is a significant percentage of the Japanese female fan base who, instead of wanting stick-thin K-pop ikemen, they want big, fat, strong men. And if you want big, fat, strong men, you can't get any better than sumo wrestlers, so there's a bunch of females fighting over access to them. Her ears are even longer than I remember. They're actually insanely long. This is my normal length elf ear, but actually they go like all the way out. I can't imagine fucking a stinky person. I don't like the idea of gagging for non-erotic reasons. But how will you give birth to the next greatest trading card game player if you're not willing to breed with our finest Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelists? We need to pass down our best trading card genes to the next generation. And for that, we need to find women who are tolerant of men who haven't showered in months. Twitch warned me for saying no homo. Guys, only homo in this stream. Twitch has spoken. Anybody who claims that they're not gay will be punished by our Twitch overlords. I will make no sacrifices until the man accepts a power wash. Considering how Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta works and how crazy it is at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, I draw reversal of stench. The opponent can play no cards until he showers. Your opponent's like, no, nothing but the shower. Why does that happen, if you actually think about it? Like, what drives the trading card game population, and to some degree the Smash population, to be like, I will just not shower for months? Why is it consistent among, like, a certain hobby? It's not like it's a hobby that requires you to not shower. Is it just like mental illness goes hand in hand with being a TCG player? That's the only real explanation I could think of. High levels of severe tism. Maybe you have the same levels of severe tism in other tism-addled hobbies, but because they're more like slightly outdoor hobbies, people don't get exposed to the stench as much. Like, what about train nerds, for example? Like, maybe there's a bunch of train nerds who equally don't shower, but we just don't hear about it because they're constantly causing other problems that are worse than being smelly, but also because they are often outside taking photos of trains instead of being trapped in a very small, dank room engaging in a card tournament. I think that's really the biggest issue, is that when these guys congregate, you get like 100 of them or 200 of them congregating at the same time, and they're all in like these same very crowded locations. So it's probably like an amplifying effect that you wouldn't get if it was just like one guy. For the Smash players, their budgets go to buying replacement controllers instead of hygiene products. That's probably true. Also, amiibos. The amiibos aren't cheap, guys. They're not going to pay for themselves. Think about how H-Box had a dead crab thrown at him and nobody smelled a rotting dead crab in the Smash convention to stop it from getting in. Yeah, I think that basically explains the situation. If you're gonna explain the Smash situation to anybody who isn't familiar with Smash hygiene, that's basically a good explanation. Is that people are like, is that a rotting crab? Nah, it must just be my standard body odor. It's probably coming from myself. Gotta get the Samus amiibos? Yes, for reasons. Is there a Zero Suit Samus amiibo, guys? Because that's the only version of Samus I'm interested in. The one in which I get to see her nipple bumps through her skin-tight bodysuit. Zero Suit Samus amiibo. That's not that impressive. I guess because they're pretty small, I shouldn't expect too much out of them, but Nintendo fans are really in the same category as Apple fans in that they will pay an extra 30% on lower performance electronic products, but also their company can just sell them something that is like either standard quality or below quality, and they'll be like, oh, it's amazing. Oh, I'm so glad that Apple is selling me this cloth that I can use to wipe my screen for only $30. It's probably the best cloth out there. Easier to stick it in a jar, though. I don't want to cover Samus in my cum. I want my cum to be inside her, not on top of her. Imagine if you could get women pregnant just by like shooting your semen in them. Not in them but on them. Just like in the general direction of them. Think how much easier it'd make mating if we were just taking the fish approach to everything. The salmon approach. It's like, let me shoot my semen into the water. And then you die. It's good for their skin. It might be. I mean, we need studies, official scientific studies, looking into if we cover women in gallons and gallons of ejaculate, whether it will help their skin or not. The answer would probably be not very much. I guess we have all those bukkake AVs, so we'd have to do like an extended long-term study to see if the skin quality of bukkake JAV actresses was better than other JAV actresses who only do like cum shot videos. But I guess that wouldn't be a good control group because there's always the possibility that coming inside also helps skin quality. This is a good example of why scientific research is very difficult. There's so many factors in the real world. It's impossible to tell whether male semen has any beneficial effects on female skin. I've read somewhere that cum isn't actually good for you. No, it wasn't porn. No, this cannot be. That's impossible. Are you saying that if I feed my slave only semen every single day, they're gonna start lacking nutrients? Male semen as opposed to female semen, of course. Succubi live from that, don't they? I believe they do, yes. Morgan gulping gallons. I'm not sure the succubi even need physical semen if she's just draining you in your dreams and stuff. Some of the succubi need to literally suck on your sperm, and others just can like drain your more like metaphysical energies and stuff. I think Morgan was one of the latter ones. Which is like a huge scam if you think about it. It's the vibe. She's just vibe coding your cock. A stern look she's giving. I mean, is Purotest ever doing anything besides giving a stern look? That's like her standard face. She's a resting bitch face female. I believe that's the correct use of the term. Purotest takes being an evil lady very seriously, as she should. I don't actually want a wife or a girlfriend. I just want to be an evil guy who has like one female subordinate that is like insanely loyal to him for like no reason. And she's just like, all I care about is pleasing him. And if I had an insanely loyal evil female subordinate, I would never have to have sex with her, because that's always how they're treated. Track record of evil female subordinate ever getting her master's cock is basically like 0 out of 10 million, so... That's the funniest part. And then if, in the rare cases in which someone points out that she's never actually getting the dick, she's like, I'm okay with that. They always have like their maximum cope defense of, you know, their master. They're being like, I care about his dreams for finally creating a fair society by killing all humans. I don't care if he gives me the penis or not. It doesn't bother me that he hasn't touched me in bed ever. He's very busy. You're just like, LMAO. Holy cope. LOL. She wants the dick so badly, but she hasn't gotten it in over 1,000 years. Big titty salacious crumb. Iago would fucking kill everyone and mask his gay envy as racism. Just you and your gay parrot. Feels good, man. You and your gay parrot against the world. Iago is just the male pick-me girl. Is it though? Isn't the whole... Can someone explain pick-me? If you do stuff to appeal to a guy, are you now a pick-me girl? Isn't that what you're supposed to do to appeal to people in general? Isn't pick-me girl just a term that other girls on the internet use to describe a woman that they don't like because she's more attractive and successful at obtaining men than they are? Like, if you want to be the opposite of pick-me girl, like, just don't post on the internet, right? That's a don't pick-me girl. Just don't talk to anyone. Be alone. No one will pick you if you're not posting your nudes on TikTok or whatever. Pick-me's are like, I'm not like the other girl's girl. Think Mordecai from regular show, but female. Let's ask Grok. I'm sure Grok is an absolute specialist on this. What is a pick-me girl? Let's not ask Grok. I'm destroying AI by using it and costing every single AI company $1 million every time I ask them a question. Pick me girl, often just called a pick me or pick me, is an internet slang term mostly used on platforms like TikTok, Twitter, X, Reddit, and Instagram. I like how even the actual Twitter AI itself is aware that nobody fucking calls Twitter X. That's the funniest part of this response. The literal AI associated with X still calls it Twitter. It describes a woman, usually young, who desperately seeks male attention, approval, or validation by positioning herself as different from and supposedly better than most other women. She tries to get men or literally pick her over other girls by putting down or mocking stereotypically feminine behaviors. Makeup, fashion, liking Taylor Swift, pumpkin spice lattes, drama. Often calling them cringe, basic, fake, or too much. Emphasizing how she's not like the other girls. I only hang out with guys because girls are too dramatic. I don't wear makeup. I'm low maintenance. I love video games, sports, beer, and hate shopping. I'm chill, not crazy like other girls. Sometimes adopting traditional masculine hobbies or opinions mainly for obviously to appeal to men rather than genuine interest. Being overly agreeable, submissive toward men. Tolerating poor treatment and throwing other women under the bus to look like the cool, easygoing, wifey material option. So there's a Japanese term for this, and it's often called Saba Saba Ke Joshi. Saba Saba girls. Saba Saba is a term often used to describe, how do I put it, not really emotionally attached, I don't know, open. It's kind of like a masculine behavior. And these girls are infamous on the Japanese internet for not being that at all and actually being extremely underhanded and, like, you know, fucked up in the head, that are just pretending like that to, you know, attract men. So I guess that's what a pick-me was. That's old lingo. I don't know if they still use that lingo in Japanese internet anymore. I haven't seen it in a long time. Tomboys are supposed to be tomboys because they actually have male hobbies. Especially back in the day when being a tomboy was considered to be a horrendous offense to society. And it was like your mother would desperately try to stop you from being a tomboy because she was afraid you wouldn't be able to marry. Now, unfortunately, it's the opposite. And men are like, oh, I love tomboys. So then we get all these fake tomboys who in fact do not have male hobbies and are just pretending to be a tomboy to attract male attention, hence the term pick me. I remember my mom asking if I was a lesbian in high school. It's fine to be a lesbian, just remember that you will be disappointing everybody around you and ending our bloodline that has continued for thousands of years. All you do is break my heart and your grandmother's heart and shame our entire family. But if you're okay with that, it's totally okay with being a lesbian if that's how you feel, honey. Also remember, you will die alone, and men will hate you. That being said, if being a pick-me is what allows a woman to claim that pumpkin spice lattes are stupid, then I'll choose the pick-me. Can't I get a female who is anti-pumpkin spice lattes without finding one that's just pretending to be anti-pumpkin spice lattes, as is insinuated by that Grok post? Are there no sane women out there who do not want pumpkin spice in their latte? You're asking for a quirk, Chungus, you're too far gone. I just don't want my house to smell like pumpkin spice 3 months out of the year, guys. She said, honey, you can tell me if you like girls. This is after I cut my hair short and stopped wearing ultra femme clothing. You have to gain another 80 pounds, cut off all of your hair and get a buzz cut and start wearing plaid, and then bring home a girlfriend. I'm not like other girls. Instead of pumpkin spice lattes, I drink hot dog water. Yeah, if you have just like weird mental illness, are you a quirky Chungus pick me girl, or are you just insane? If you're like, I only drink water out of this pickle jar. Yes, pickle juice is the only thing I drink. As a result, my sodium levels are insane and I'm about to die from high blood pressure, but it's worth it. Flannel, lesbian love flannel, yes. I fucking hate flannel. I'm not sure why. I think it's too soft on my skin. Because I am a, the Asperger gene makes it so that I'm awfully sensitive to various fabrics. So I don't really like things that are too soft. I don't necessarily want stuff that is like rough and sketchy, but when fabrics are too soft, it makes it feel uncomfortable for me as well, so. You ever drink some ramen broth and taste the sheer amount of sodium? MSG, I'm never having ramen again. Even if you get ramen that you get like all natural ramen, like from a real ramen shop in Japan, and they're one of those places that is like, I don't use MSG, you still shouldn't drink the broth because it's full of too much sodium. It's just too much sodium and fat. But the ironic part is that that's where all of their budget goes. So just like by default, ramen is bad for you. It's probably the worst thing you could be eating in Japan if you're worried about your health. Anybody who's like, I'm in Japan, so I'm going to be healthy and lose weight, which is why I eat ramen every day, is just asking for an early grave. There's not many people who are just like, oh, he was doing that activity, so he's dead now. But I remember there was a Japanese Twitter guy, ramen Twitter guy, who was posting photos of the ramen he was eating every day. And then he showed up on the Japanese internets because one day he stopped posting and the next day, like, his sister was like, thank you for remembering my brother. He loved ramen very much, but he's dead now. And I'm like, LMAO. Well, there you go. That's what happens when you eat too much ramen. It's that simple. You just die. That's depressing. Holy fuck. I mean, again, Japanese food is healthy in general, but if there's one Japanese food that is gonna fucking kill you very quickly, it's ramen. Don't eat ramen. You can eat ramen like once a month, guys. The people who like ramen eat ramen like twice per day, and of course it kills them. You laughed? What a fuck? I mean, bro's eating ramen every day. It would be like the guy died after he was posting like the 10 shots of liquor he was drinking every day. It's like, I ain't gonna mourn a person who dies of his poor daily habits. I ain't saying that they can't do it, but when you die, you know, it's just part of the bargain. Are we talking cup ramen? No, we're talking like full bowls of like official store ramen, which is probably better for you than cup ramen. Cup ramen is like everything that's bad, and then nothing that's good. At least like if you go to a store, you're getting a lot of nutrients and stuff inside the ramen. I've heard people argue that ramen is like an extremely healthy food as long as you don't drink the broth, because it has a lot of vegetables and stuff. It has a great combination of protein, vegetables, and carbohydrates. So if you're not ordering like the mega super large bowl with extra noodles, and if you're not drinking the broth, it's actually relatively healthy. But of course people are drinking the broth, so he could have seen it coming. I mean, we all got it coming, kid. Ranch on everything, delicious.
Honey, you'll never breathe again, ever. Harry's dead. The other one, too. Oh, I'm trying to pull the trigger.
It's a hell of a thing, killing him off. Take away all he's got, and all he's ever done.
Yeah. Oh, I guess they had it coming.
We all have to come.
We all have it coming, kid. Ranch on everything. Ranch really does go very well on everything, even though it's, you know, a good way to kill yourself quickly. I thought that the people who are like, I dip my pizza in ranch, I was like, you're fucking crazy, until I actually tried it, and I was like, huh, it actually does work. They were right. They were right all along. How the fuck is Clint Eastwood still around? He's too angry and spiteful to die. Classic old person move. How big do I make the boobs? This is always a question. Purotes has relatively big boobs, even in the official, but they're not huge. They're kind of moderate-sized big boobs. if you know what I mean. The boobs are already big enough. We don't have, like, the other people in stream who are like, make them bigger! I feel obliged as an internet artist to make the boobs, like, about 20% bigger than the official source art. It was Red Baron Pizza, speaking of things that will kill you, which was carried hard by the ranch. Again, if you have a food that you don't like because it's too healthy or something, all you have to do is smother it in ranch and then the Americans will eat it. Popcorn chicken and pickles were fire, though. I really like pickles, and then I realized that I was eating like 10 times the amount of sodium I was supposed to be eating in a day if I had them in my refrigerator, so I stopped buying them. I was just like, this is just cucumbers and salt. This is really bad for me. My body just is trying to absorb way more salt than it needs. Pickles are so fucking good. They are, but sodium, another thing that we eat a shit ton of that we're not supposed to eat a shit ton of. Unfortunate fact of pickles, unless you make them yourself. If you get like a nice sandwich at a restaurant and they give you like your club sandwich, which has like a bunch of salt in it, salt in the bacon, salt in the food, salt in some of the sauce, and then you eat it with the chips they give you on the side, and then you eat the pickle as well, you're basically getting like a day and a half's worth of salt in your single meal. So yeah. fuck bowling alley food. Does anyone think that bowling alley food is good? Most places that serve food where like you're supposed to be getting drunk, the food isn't gonna be great. It's gonna be overpriced and just like a combination that's only tolerable with the alcohol. This is usually different in Japan where you can get really good food at izakaya and stuff like that, but I'm still not going because they obviously expect you to be ordering alcohol. That's how they make money, so... Japan has badass bowling alley food. I don't know. I mean, they have a few bowling alleys here or there. The thing about Japan is the floor of the food quality is way higher than American food quality. The ceiling is probably pretty similar, but I don't know about the ceiling because I don't eat at Michelin 3-star restaurants in the first place. But like, the thing about Japanese food is, like, you can go and buy, like, random shit in the local 7-Eleven and it actually tastes good. Which is something that will never, ever happen in an American 7-Eleven, right? So... Alright guys, I'm gonna end the stream here. See you around, boys. If you guys didn't notice, I am currently doing my commission slot auction. So if you donate to me already, you can participate in Discord and stuff. Alright, see you boys. Good night.